everyone, welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name is Robyn and thank you so much for joining in on another video. It is currently really bad weather outside is the only way to describe it. We're getting another east coast low here on the south coast of New South Wales. We've had about over 100 mils in the last day. I think we're up to about 130, 140 mils. And the garden is back to being mud again. It's really cold. I'm not feeling 100%. So I decided today that I would do a video just sitting down indoors with a cup of tea, try and make it a little bit more cozy. And I also wanted to just do a complete list of everything that I'm planning on growing for the year. So if you don't already, make sure to grab a cup of tea or coffee or something else to drink, and I hope you enjoy today's video. The rest of today's video, I thought I would run you through all of the flowers that I am planning on growing this year and kind of rolling into next year as well. I have seeds sprawled all over on this bed. I'm sure you can kind of see a few behind me, and I have separated these into like foliage plants, filler flowers, and supporting / focal flowers for some bouquets that I'm going to be planning on making. I've seen a few of you say that you're also interested in starting kind of a backyard business or flower farm, which is super exciting. And I wanted to just share with you where I'm at right now and kind of where my head's at, what I'm planning, and how I'm kind of deciding what flowers to grow. There's two kind of ways that I'm deciding this. The first is I'm choosing plants and flowers that I really know how to grow well, and I know that grow well in this climate here. And then I'm also just trialing ones that I'm interested in growing. So I think that's one of the main things when you're starting out a backyard business or flower farm in this case, is to just decide what you want to grow and make it so that it's actually interesting for you. I'm not interested in growing things that I don't like the look of or the colors that I don't like. I'm less likely to want to keep doing that if I'm going to be growing things that I'm not really that interested in. This year is all about making me happy and what I think looks good, because I really need to just be pumping out different like posies and bouquets to see what my style is, and also to see what colors go well together. So to give you a rough idea, I have kind of a little spreadsheet that I'm putting together, and this is not done yet, but I find it really useful if you have no idea what to buy, is to take screenshots of the flowers and what they're going to look like and put it all together in a spreadsheet, and you'll kind of start to get like your color palette and maybe even your style. This here is what mine is looking like. It's a little hard to see, but you can see I kind of have a little bit of a color palette forming. I am very interested in pastel colors, apricots, light pinks, light purples with a touch of blue and yellow. So once I put all of that into an Excel spreadsheet, this is just a few of the flowers that I'm growing, by the way. I'm growing a little bit more than this, but I could start to see, okay, I have these colors, I have a lot of one color, what might else I need to balance these colors? Or look at a color palette or a color wheel. There's so many online that you can choose from to kind of understand what colors might go well together, because I don't really want to be growing just one color. I want a variety of colors and textures in the flowers, and also sizes of the flowers. And I found this really useful to also break it up into different components of a bouquet that I want to be putting together, because that is the end goal for what I want to achieve. I'm not just growing for the garden to look pretty, I want something productive, and I need certain components of a bouquet to bring it all together when I'm ready. So I've also found that splitting it into foliage, filler and supporting or focal flowers in an Excel spreadsheet really easy. And then I've also got a column for seed buying and whether I have bought it, where I'm buying it from, and then also the price, just to give me a rough idea how much I might need to save for something, or whether I've already bought it and I can tick that off my list. And I also have another page in this flower farming planning initial stages of just what my customers are going to be, so I can start to get a little bit of an idea about how much I might be able to sell in a week or so, and then how much I might need to be planting, which that's probably going to be another video in the future, because right now all I'm doing is just trying to get my seeds together. Do you have something to say? Yeah. Okay. Because then I can kind of look at what I want to be selling, whether or not the market might suit more like little jar posies or bouquets. So in terms of what I'm actually going to be growing, I'm going to hopefully put a little bit of a picture on either side of me up on the screen of what it is that I'm growing, what it looks like for you. And I've also in my head split this up into cooler and warmer seasons of the year, but for this video I'm just going to list them all. You can figure out in your climate whether or not you need to be planting it in a cool season or a warm season. Right, the cat is under the blanket now. Stop it. Okay, so the cat is now under the blanket and just destroying all my piles of seeds. Cool. Okay, I've just had to put the cat outside because that just was not working. For the foliage that I'm planning on planting, and I have quite a little bit already around in the garden that I'm going to be using, which I'm really thankful for, that I don't have to start from scratch really or go foraging for anything. While foraging is technically like allowed, you can do it, foraging in like native areas and native woodlands and forests is illegal, and you do need permits to go and pick native vegetation. So I'd just be a little bit careful about that, and try to just stick to people's backyards. If you've got a friend with native plants that you might want to pick for flower arranging, rather than just going out into the bush and just picking what might be really important habitat for a certain animal or bird. In terms of foliage, I have on my list here, I'm going to firstly just try growing cosmos for its foliage as well as its flowers, but I have heard from noble flowers that they grow it really well as a foliage. And I tried doing that just with the short amount of warm weather that we did have here, and it did look really, really great in a bouquet. So I'm definitely going to be doing that again. We have two types of ferns around us. One is technically a little bit invasive, but we have a little bit of it on our property. So I'm going to be using that. And also we have another native fern down in the back, which looks really pretty and is going to be nicer for larger arrangements. I'm also going to be using bottle brush leaves, which look really, really great, as well as a lot of other different shrubs around the house that I'm going to just trial what they look like. I've got like some tea tree and leptospermums, which look really great in arrangements, as well as thryptomene, which mine are a little bit small. I might have to wait a little bit longer for them, but they are going to be so, so pretty. And then ones that I'm going to be planting, I have here some seed packets. I am going to be focusing on growing basil as a foliage, and I'm going to be growing lemon basil, which looks really, really great and smells nice, as well as a ruby red basil. And I might also try some cinnamon basil as well, which has a little bit more greeny and purple colours. For the cats, I'm just going to grow some catmint, so I'm going to see what that looks like as foliage as well. So this isn't technically going in the flower farm area, I'm just going to be growing this a little bit around the garden. I'm also going to, in summer, be growing some black olive chili. This plant I grew in Brisbane and it just looked absolutely amazing. The foliage on it and the little black chilies that were grown on it were just so, so beautiful. So I really want to grow a few of these plants to have a little bit more of that dark tone, which I am slightly missing with a lot of the other flower colours that I have gone for. And I also have some Salvias that I'm going to be planting. These might take a few years to get established. These are more perennials, but I have blue bedder salvia and a tricolour salvia. And similarly, like the catmint, these aren't quite going to go into the flower farm area, but I am also going to be growing some lemon balm and some sage to also use as medicinal herbs and in cooking. But I really like the look of sage, particularly in kind of more wedding style bouquets. And little boutonnieres and little posies as well. I think sage looks really, really pretty. And I also have quite a few of the swamp paper barks. These ones, I have quite a few seedlings of these, and their foliage is really, really pretty. They also do have small little purple flowers, which is going to be more of like a filler flower, supporting flower, but I'm mainly going to be growing this for the foliage. All right, now moving on to filler flowers, and filler flowers is something that I'm excited to try because I haven't ever really grown flowers to fill up bouquets. I've always just thought about growing foliage and then focal flowers, but I'm excited to try quite a few different ones of these. I already have quite a few feverfew planted, which is looking really, really healthy, and I'm also going to try growing this, I don't know how to say it properly, Matricaria snowball. It's also kind of like a feverfew, and the flowers on this are really pretty and are going to be a little bit more like fluffy and bigger than the feverfew, than the smaller feverfew. So I'm excited to give that a try. I would really like to include some forget-me-nots around in the garden in some of the more shaded areas that get quite a bit of water. Forget-me-nots don't mind those conditions, so I'm going to add some of those to the garden. Again, not quite in the flower farm area, but would really like to grow these. Other fillers that I have planted, I have quite a bit of Achillea or yarrow. This is just a mixed colour. Eryngium or sea holly. Towards the more warmer months, I'm going to be planting quite a bit of this white gomphrena. I have so many other pinky flowers, so I was deciding whether to go the really bright pink or the white of gomphrena, but I think I chose well with the white. You all know that I love growing Chinese broccoli as a filler flower. I have some out in the garden still. It looks so beautiful, so I really want to grow some more of that. I'm growing Nigella. This is Miss Jekyll Blue. I'm doing this one as more of like a cool flower, so I've already planted some in the ground and they are overwintering. So hopefully they will grow a lot faster when the weather warms up, and I will get blooms sooner than I would if I would just plant them in spring. I planted quite a lot of billy buttons. I'm going to try growing some tansy, more so in the cottage garden, just because it's a really good bug repellent, but I have seen that it gets quite big and I'm not too sure if I'm going to love it or not. If I don't want to use it in bouquets, then it could just stay in the cottage garden as a bit more of a medicinal plant. I'm going to be growing some more orange poppies, and then lots of everlasting daisies. This is one that I know how to grow. I love growing them. I love using them in like dried arrangements or kind of dried picture frames. I did a video on how to dry flowers, and in that I showed you a really great gift idea that you can use with dried flowers and everlasting daisies, and I'd really like to make quite a few of these for the markets around us. I think they're going to be a really great gift idea and Christmas present. So I already have quite a few of these planted in the ground. They're overwintering as well, but to give you an idea on the colours, I'm growing quite a lot of different colours. I am growing the salmon rose, which is probably my favourite, to be honest. Just growing a pink variety, a white one, copper red, which is also probably one of my favourites. And then I have just a big bag of mixed seeds that I have saved, as well as another mixed packet in there. So I have quite a lot of everlasting daisies that I'm going to fill the garden with. And then moving on to more of the supporting slash focal flowers. I don't really have a lot of large focal flowers that I'm going to be growing this year, mainly because I'm just still learning how to grow all of the flowers, but I do have a few. One of them is I am going to be growing some from seed. So I have a mixed packet here. This is from Sam at Wild Violet Flower Farm. Her flowers are absolutely beautiful, and I'm also going to be ordering dahlia tubers from her too. But I did want to just try growing some from seed. It'll be an experiment to see what they grow. So I'm probably going to dedicate like a whole video to these seeds because I am really excited to see what I have got in this packet, and if I like any of them then I can personally save the tubers that grow from these seeds. But I have 3 or 4, we'll see, tubers that I would really like to buy, and if I don't get this exact one then I'd like some kind of colour similar. The first one that I have on my computer, the first one is Bracken Polymena. It's a really great apricot colour, decorative dahlia, not too large, not too small, perfect for me. I'd also like a beautiful light pink one, and I have chosen what I would really like is the Araluen Liatris. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'll put a picture up here. A really beautiful one with little yellow tips on all of the flower petals. And I would love to grow coconut ice as well. Those are the ones that I have here on my backup list, because I do have a backup list. I have Pink Show, Pride of Place Pom Pom, Willow Night, and Glenmark Sky. We'll see what I can get my hands on. I'm really not too picky because I don't want to focus on those flowers right now, just because they are a lot of money to buy. It's a big investment, and I want to learn with a few more than a lot. But some of the other more focal flowers, and these are focal slash supporting because they're not too large, but I also think that they're going to look really great in bouquets. I'll go through all of the really summery ones first. The first one is Parfait Light Pink Celosia. I have Red Cathedral Amaranth, Forest Fire Celosia, and Caudatus Red Amaranth. In terms of zinnias, these are another flower that I personally really love, and I just think they're super happy, and I really want to grow some of these for bouquets, particularly for little posies, and also just to bring into the nursing home. I know I can grow a lot of these, so I really want to grow them. The ones that I'm really excited for are the Lilliput Rose Zinnia, the Queen Lime Orange Zinnia, Benary's Giant Bright Pink, Benary's Giant Salmon Rose, looks really pretty, Queen Lime Red. Those are all of my more special ones, and then I'm going to just do a mix of all of these other different colours to kind of have a little bit of a, my goal is to have a rainbow bucket of zinnias, is what I would love. I have Orange King, Violet Queen, Peppermint. I don't love this one, but I hate wasting seeds, so I'd really like to use these up, and my goal is to use up all of these. Salmon Rose, Polar Bear, which gets a little dirty, but we'll see how that goes. Luminosa Bright Pink, Cherry Queen, and Envy. Moving on to some other of my favourites. I am going to be actually hopefully sowing some probably tomorrow to get more in the ground. I have quite a few sown and planted, but I really want to grow these special snapdragons here. I have a mix already planted, but these are some special ones that I really wanted to try and grow. The first one is Costa Apple Blossom. The next one is Costa Lavender and Costa Apricot. So I would love to grow these ones. I don't think I'm going to have too much luck with sunflowers, but I'm going to try them anyway, just because we have so many birds and parrots around us that snip them off at the base and then eat the seeds and eat the heads. But I'm going to try growing Royal Velvet and what is this one? Evening Sun, and also maybe some Lemon Striker. They're really pretty, but I might try getting some dwarf ones. The cockatoos seem to be less interested in those, so we'll see how sunflowers go. Then I'm also going to be trying to grow some asters, probably just a few each of these, because I have only grown them once, and they did struggle quite a bit, so we'll see how they go. But I have chosen the Aster Tower Chamois China Flower. I think this one, it doesn't say the colour, but this is like a apricot-y colour, I think. I have Bonita Shell Pink and China King Apricot, as well as kind of like a powder puff mix. And last but not least, I have some Cosmos. I have Cupcake Blush, super excited about that one. I have a Sensation mix, a Seashell mix, a Gloria Sensation mix, and Candy Stripe. And a lot of these ones that I have so many seeds of, these are going to be both used as the foliage and the flowers, but I'm really super excited about the Cupcake Blush ones in particular. And I also forgot, I do have some Aquilesias planted already. These are just going to go around the garden, not necessarily in the flower farm area, as is a lot of these, because this is a lot of flowers, and I'm not going to be growing rows and rows of these. Don't get me wrong there, I don't have that much space. This is a trial year. I'm going to be growing maybe like 1 or 2 of each of these, because I want to see what grows well here. In the next video, I will share with you what all of this cost and how much money I've spent so far, or maybe in a few weeks I'll do a wrap up actually of that, because I think that would be really interesting for you all. But I might leave this video here, finish my tea, go and huddle and get into even more warm clothes than I already am, because it's starting to get a little bit cooler. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching along this flower farming journey. I'm super excited to plant all of these, and I will hopefully be able to do more garden with me's and be outside filming very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, happy gardening everyone. Bye.